What's up, everybody? It's your boy Pete from the basement, and I'm here to kick off an extra special segment this Memorial Day weekend. Before I get started, I want to wish a very happy birthday to my friend, the Shadow himself, Mr. Mikey Sutton. Salud, brother. So without further ado, the Pete's Basement Show is proud to welcome you to the Mikey Sutton Birthday Scoop Jam. The Basement Show, alongside several other YouTube channels such as Lords of the Long Box, 3 Buck Theater, The Cosmic Wonder, Superhero Buzz, and others, have been chosen to drop exclusive scoops from our boy Mikey the Shadow Sutton as his way of providing gifts to the comic book community for all the kindness he's received over the past year. So yeah, Mikey's giving away presents on his own birthday. So from here in New York, out to Seattle, from LA to the Netherlands, Kentucky to Costa Rica, this whole day YouTubers will be pouring down scoops. Before this COVID crap shut down all the doors, discussions for the future of the MCU were more active than ever. And that hasn't stopped, albeit remotely. Pete's Basement was the first to air Mikey's scoops back in 2014, when he was simply an obscure figure on Facebook that we later nicknamed The Shadow just for this show. He began his connection to this channel by saying that Sony was secretly talking to Disney about incorporating Spidey into the MCU. Pete's Basement was the first to leak this news, and appropriately, PB was selected to lead off the jam with a brand new Spider-Man scoop. Now, with all of these inside scoops, everything should be taken with a grain or two of salt. The movie industry is always changing, ideas are shifting back and forth, so nothing is written in stone. Let's keep that in mind. With that said, there's been talk of Kraven the Hunter and the Sinister Six in Spidey's future in the cinema, but one popular villain has managed to escape the rumor mill. Until now. The Hobgoblin is being discussed as one of Spider-Man's foes to be launched onto the silver screen. However, and fortunately as far as I'm concerned, the character will not be connected in any fashion to Ned Leeds. This is good, because nobody wants to see everybody's favorite, sort of ganky, Pete's best friend Ned, played fantastically by Jacob Batalon, become a villain. Right now, no decision has been made if the Hobgoblin will receive a solo film a la Venom or Morbius, but seriously, let's hope not. Kevin Feige wants him to be a primary foe in a Spider-Man movie, probably in the 4th installment, and I'm pretty sure Hobgoblin can be done in just a Spider-Man movie without a lead-in movie of his own. Not every villain needs a lead-in movie. Now you're probably saying, but how are you going to get Hobgoblin without Green Goblin first? Ever since Spidey made his MCU debut back in Civil War, we've all been waiting for his arch-enemy Norman Osborn to make his pumpkin-bombing debut in explosive fashion. No disrespect to Willem Dafoe, who plays a frighteningly good psychopath, but we all want to see Norman Osborn done right. MCU right. If they could turn Morts like the Vulture or Mysterio into badasses, imagine what they could do with a real scary villain. But the fact is, Kevin Feige has always tried to distance himself from what came before, and that includes using villains who have already been used, and that includes the Green Goblin. But Hobgoblin debuting before his Emerald forefather could work. Let's remember, that's exactly what happened in the Spider-Man animated series back in the 90s. Now, while that was because producer Avi Arad had already sunk way too much investment capital into Hobgoblin action figures, and the series writers were basically forced to write story after story after story involving Hobby and his criminal empire, stories that were originally designed with the Green Goblin in mind, this can still work. Especially if they're completely foregoing the Ned Leeds red herring story and jumping straight to, say, Roderick Kingsley. Yeah, I know. Who the frig is Roderick Kingsley? The original Hobgoblin's identity reveal was a pretty major letdown. But maybe Kingsley can still have a connection to Spider-Man and Peter Parker by being Mary Jane's modeling agent and also somehow be business partners with Norman Osborn. And maybe he steals the Goblin equipment and becomes the supervillain Hobgoblin. We can even have a stinger scene of Norman Osborn reworking the Goblin glider in the suit and remarking, amateurs, and then drinking the newly developed Goblin formula. Are you listening, Kevin? These are golden ideas here! And let's not forget Hobgoblin preceding the Green Goblin in the animated series in the mid-90s preceded the Clone Saga and Norman Osborn really being cemented as Spider-Man's arch nemesis, having been behind the whole thing and being secretly alive in Europe, masterminding the whole Peter having an identity crisis thing and Ben Reilly being the real Spider-Man and then not being the real Spider-Man. And, well, I'm just not going to get into the Clone Saga. There is a time and place for that, and frankly, I'm in a good mood, so now is not that time and place. With all that said, let's give another nod to the Spidey animated series and cast none other than Mark Hamill as the Hobgoblin. He voiced him awesomely, doing that very familiar Joker voice back in the animated series, and you know he could do it now. He could be an awesome Roderick Kingsley, and he could be a real sick Hobgoblin. So what do you think? Is it a good idea? Mark Hamill is the Hobgoblin? We want to hear from you. Hit us up, questions@Pete'sBasement.com, Facebook.com/Pete'sBasement, Instagram, Twitter, etc. @Pete'sBasement. We always want to hear from you, and we're happy to read your letters on the show. Did you dig this video? Give it a thumbs up, drop a comment, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it, because you don't want to miss a minute of the crazy basement hijinks we have in store. Yeah, we're all stuck in quarantine, but that's not stopping the Basement Show. We've got awesome unboxing videos, comic reviews, movie reviews, TV show reviews. We got something for everyone, so make sure you stay tuned into the Basement Show. Once again, I'd like to thank Mikey the Shadow Sutton. Brother, this has been an awesome scoop. Thank you for sharing it with us. Thank you for giving us the privilege of sharing it with the rest of the world. It's an honor to call you fan and friend. Salud, brother, and happy birthday. We'll see you next time. Pete's Basement is copyrighted 2020. Ripped Productions. All rights reserved. So go fuck yourself. They called us mad back then. Mad, I tell you. But look what happened. Spidey showed up in Civil War. There you go.